Christ House is my life experience. You understand? It's first of all, it's really hard for me to ask anybody for money when it comes to what I do because I want people to believe in what I do, not just the cause of me needing money. However, Christ House is my life experience. I know what it feels like to be homeless. I know what it feels like to be a mother who has been battered. I know what it feels like to be incarcerated. I know what it feels like to have a dream and there's no one there to help you. I know what this feels like. My Christ House is my testimony. I started the correction program because I went to jail. And in the process of me going to jail, my children were taken. So I know the pain of a mother who's fighting for her children. I know what it feels like to have to battle with the state to prove your innocence. I know what it feels like to be a convicted felon because I had to fight to clean my record over an argument. I know what it feels like to not be able to have somewhere to sleep at night because some decisions that I made in my life caused me to be homeless. And I know what it feels like not to have a soul to pick up the phone and call. So I took all of my adversity, I took all of my pain, and I created an outreach program for the feelings that I have. And that's what Christ House is. I mean, it's a ministry. And through all the things that I went through in my life, the Lord began to speak to me and tell me that I put you through these things so that you could be the vessel that I use to help people. And that's what I'm doing. I'm simply helping people. My business is helping people. I'm a need meter. I meet the needs of people. And it's just a saying that one day the Lord was ministering to me, and I didn't understand a scripture in the Bible of many are called, but only a few are chosen. And I didn't get that. So I began to talk to the Lord about it, and he basically revealed to me that he's not bipolar. He calls many people. And the few that are chosen is because those are the few that choose to do his word. When he calls you, he calls you. He's not a bipolar guy where he just says, I'm going to call you, you, and you, but I'm only going to choose you, you, and you. No, when he calls you, he calls you. It's just that it's us that choose to do his work. So that's the reason why only a few are chosen. So I'm grateful for being able to come out of myself to build this, because when people go through things, it's just like, oh, me. But I wanted to make sure that there is not a person that is at home. There's a person that is hungry, that cannot be fed, that they don't have a resource to be fed, or there's a person who's fighting to reconsolidate their life from making a mistake in the incarceration, and that they're not just looked upon as society as an outcast, that we can help them find housing, find a job, reconnect with their family. There's a mother who wants to get her children back, help her to go through the system and provide her with the resources that she needs to meet case plans. There is veterans that's homeless that need somewhere to just even have a hot meal, or to even sit down and talk to someone. All of these things starts with mental illness. So my goal is to eradicate homelessness by providing a service for those with mental illness. And that's just really what Christ House is about. It's my testimony that became my passion. Now we're having a job fair, because we have now opened up a school for adults and children with disabilities. We have a facility that's providing services for We have a facility that's providing service for youth that's aged out of foster care. We have a hot meal sack lunch program where we are going to different shelters and we are feeding God's people. We have a street ministry where we're out on the street feeding and providing clothing and providing supplies for those people that are going through, hard times in their life. And a lot of these people are not just homeless because they're bums or they want to get drink. A lot of people are homeless because they have a mental illness, and this mental illness stems from their story, which caused them to go into a state of depression, which is a mental illness. And then they find themselves to relieve some of the things that is going through their mind by converting to alcohol or drug addiction. So it's not that just this homeless person is a bum and they want to drink. It's they have a mental illness and they're trying to drink or smoke or use the pain away. And I think that's the eyes that we need to see this in, so that we know how to a better approach their situation and help them. No, I can't save the world, but at least I can try. And that's my goal with the upcoming events that we have. Hiring people that has a passion for this, employing them to better our communities, giving people a job so that they can understand that homelessness is just more than being an alcoholic or a drunk or a lazy human being that doesn't want to get a job, and tackle that mental ill situation that is causing the epidemic of homelessness with education, with health care, with food, with supplies, with just shelter. When you have a veteran who is homeless because of PTSD, he doesn't need to be in a shelter. He needs to be in a program like an assisted living facility. And that's our goal, so he can be set on the right medication. He can talk to the right therapist. He can get the proper nutrition. He can get the proper hygiene, or she. And that's the approach that we have here at Christ House, is not to put a Band-Aid over a bullet hole. It's actually go in, remove the bullet, and sew it up. So there's so many projects. I wouldn't be able to explain it all in a good time, but the goal is to set up an organization that will be not just your average typical organization that wants to assist. We want to eradicate. We want to redevelop communities. We want to entry people back into the communities from prison, children who has been in foster care that's aging out, that has nowhere to go. Put them on a plan and a purpose to be successful and not continue the repeated cycle in their bloodline. Provide jobs for convicted felons, men and women, housing for them, and programs for kids that just can't get it in college, that needs a trade, that need more resources to understand their gift and to help them prosper in their gift. So the monies that you will donate will go to just a plethora of different things to help people, to help our next generation. If we don't start pouring into our future, by the time I get 60, there won't be any doctors. There won't be any lawyers. There won't be any EMTs. There won't be any nursing assistants. There won't be any nurses. We need to continue to pour into the next generation. And we have to do it because a lot of the next generation is finding themselves being incarcerated, finding themselves being drug abusers, finding themselves aging out of foster care, finding themselves in the system. So we need to reach them, not just the ones who is on the right path. We need to be able to have a program that is going to reach these type of people.